What is up, everybody? I am back with a follow-up video on the Ares Kel Tec RDB. Now, I don't take any sponsorships for this video, or for this YouTube channel at all. I don't take any money, which means two things. One, that the production value will be completely dog shit, okay? Because I've got no money to do any of this. I'm just doing this as a hobby. But more importantly, it means I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm not going to bullshit anybody about how great a gun is if it's rubbish, and vice versa. I'm not going to tell you that a gun is rubbish if it's actually good. These are 100% my honest opinions. And when I first did the video for the Kel Tec RDB, I had a lot of hype for it, and initially it seemed really good. I'd used it for one game and I was pleased with it, and I thought at the time that was enough experience to make a proper informed video. However, in the last couple of months, I've had a few issues with this gun, which make it makes it important that I do this follow-up video and tell you the experiences that I've had with this thing, because oh boy. Just quickly, before we really get into it, do you want to know how I got these scars? Well, this was a rental with a spring shotgun, getting way too close. This one's a doozy though. At the game, it was raining. I slipped over, but luckily my gun broke my fall, specifically the rear iron sight going right into my cheek. I'm not being beaten by my wife. She definitely wouldn't do that. And I am telling you this under my own free will, and she is not making me write a script, so there's no need to call the police. Now, the first thing I did with every gun that I try and upgrade the performance is look at the hop up and look at the barrel. Now, annoyingly, this is a proprietary hop unit, which means I can't use any knobs. It's actually got a nub built into the arm, which is very annoying, but you can change the rubber. I used a purple Prometheus hot rubber for this, and then I changed out the barrel with a ZCI tight ball barrel. Very simple mods, but I'll tell you what, it has greatly improved the performance of this gun. The performance and accuracy was actually pretty good when I first got it, but now it's a hell of a lot better. So for all the issues that I've had with this gun, and we'll get into them in just a minute, the performance, now that I've got those very simple upgrades in there, is not an issue that I've had. It's been very good. But let's move on to reliability, shall we? Because speaking of that hop unit, it will hop 0.28s, it'll hop 0.3s pretty well. However, the adjustment, as I mentioned on the previous video, done with this little, I can get out, this thing, going into the magwell and twisting it, it means it's very difficult to get very precise adjustments. So it's all too easy to over adjust the hop, which has led to feeding issues for me. Yeah, I just wanted to show you my amazing innovation while I'm cooking, so that's why you can hear stuff in the background. So this is the hop unit on the RDB. Now you can adjust it, you can rotate it, and it will apply more and more hop until it resets itself and it's not applying any hop. So it's really annoying to adjust because you don't know how far away you are from that reset point. But look what I did. I added these little indicator lines to indicate how far I am to maximum hop until it resets. So now I won't have that problem. It's a minor issue, but it is an issue because, again, it's not like you can just open up the side and just do-do with your thumb. You've got to, it's a whole process. You've got to take the mag out, you've got to get the tool, you've got to stick it in there, you got to twiddle it around, because I'm just going to remind you, look how tiny that is. I don't know if it comes up. It is some bullshit. Shout out to some people online that I've seen who have actually got a Dremel and they've taken this cheek thingy, whatever you call it, off, and they've dremeled into the metal body, which reveals a little window for the hop that you can adjust with your finger. It's incredible. Ares themselves haven't thought of that when they were producing this gun, because it makes things so much easier, and down the line it's something I really do need to do for this gun. Okay, so that's a minor thing. What major things happened to this gun to make me change it? Well, it was very screechy out the box. No, that's unfair. Okay, it was a little bit screechy out the box. It can be improved. So what I did was I got into the gearbox, took it apart, and I found it was actually shimmed really poorly. I re-shimmed it and things got a little bit better, but I couldn't help but notice when I was in the gearbox that the bushings that they used were already worn. So in the end I had to replace all of them. I didn't have to, but I wanted to replace all of them with some ball bearings instead.
So these are the SHS steel bearings that I fitted into the gun, and shout out to their graphics department. Nothing says quality like 2 stock photos of wolves.
And it actually seems to run a lot smoother. Another thing that got rid of that screechiness as well, a high torque motor. The stock motor is okay, it does the job, but really for 30 quid I think I paid, you can really improve the performance of this gun, and it does sound a lot better now. I'll tell you what else I did. I noticed the air compression was quite poor. I didn't want to change the cylinder head because the cylinder head and the cylinder was all one piece, which you think would be great for like air seal, but it just means that you can't change anything else. So I looked at the piston head. Piston head was double O-rings, I think, but it was still not getting that air compression that I wanted. So I replaced that as well with an aftermarket one, just a cheap basic one, but it has greatly improved the air seal, so I'm getting a much more consistent shooting pattern out of this, much better performance. Things that aren't excusable though, I mentioned the bushings being worn after a few games. It's really shocking to me, a gun that I'd used literally for 2 or 3 games at that point had worn out bushings. What the hell? I'd have put probably less than a few thousand rounds in it, and just with that they were already wearing out. It was really poor. Another thing that happened was the sector gear actually broke after those few games as well. I'd only used it for, again, a few thousand rounds of shooting, and the first tooth off that sector gear was completely sheared off. Really not acceptable. Now these are supposed to be steel gears, and I'm not expecting the world, but I've got guns, I've got combat machines that I've had for 6-7 years, and the gears have been completely fine. Ares, are you making these things out of paper mache? I don't know. But you might think, well, calm down, you can replace the sector gear. Yeah, I can, absolutely. However, if you want a sector gear to work with the Ares micro switch trigger and the Ares electrical systems, you'll need a sector gear with a magnet in a specific spot. So even if you bought a nice set of gears, you'd have to Dremel out the specific spot and then put the magnet from the sector gear into that spot to make the whole thing work. Ain't nobody got time for that. Luckily, I managed to find some spare Ares sector gears, and I bought the whole fucking stock because I understand now it's a part that will fail. So it's a bit of a schmucky solution where I'm not actually solving the issue, I've just got the parts to replace the issue that breaks. Not an ideal solution, I know, but for now, that's just what I've done. So, last time, I highly recommended this gun. Now, I'm not so sure. I would say, if you're into teching, and if you're a dork like me who has spare time to work on guns like this, then I would say yes, buy the Ares Kel Tec RDB, because it looks really bloody cool. And if you've got the time and the patience and a little bit of extra cash, you can fix the problems that Ares have unfortunately produced. However, if you're a newer player, or if you don't have time to fix those problems, or if you don't know about teching, I really wouldn't recommend this gun. honestly. It's a real shame as well that Ares think that they can get away with selling something at a premium price, advertising it as a premium product, and it having these major flaws coming out the factory. So guys, for now, that's it really on the Ares Kel Tec RDB. I think these follow-up videos are really important because, as well as this channel being an outlet for all my nerdy opinions on airsoft guns, it can also be a cautionary tale for people, and if I can save somebody a bit of a headache and help them make the right decision for them, then that makes me happy. So hopefully you got something out of it, and yeah, if I can do any more of these follow-up videos in the future, I certainly will. This perhaps might not be the last you've heard of this Keltec, who knows, and I'll catch you on the next one.